The big human ship hung in space, its smooth surface shining in the light from two nearby stars. Kang led his team onto this ship called Resilience. He was the main person who helped different groups talk to each other in the Stellar Federation. Both his hearts beat fast as he walked. His people had watched humans from far away for many years, but this was the first time they met face to face. Captain Hana waited for them when they arrived. Her face moved in a strange way, showing her teeth in what humans called a smile. For Kang's people, showing teeth like this meant someone was angry or crazy. Everyone in Kang's group became tense. The small spines on their backs stood up under their formal clothes. "Welcome to the Resilience," she said, still showing her teeth. "We hope our peoples can work together and help each other." The machines that changed one language to another worked well, but something important was not being understood. Kang wondered why Captain Hana would make threats while talking about peace. As she showed them around the ship, her face made this threatening look more often when she talked about important things. What worried Kang most was seeing all the other humans doing the same thing. "The captain seems very aggressive," Kang whispered to Yoon as they walked to their rooms. "Maybe this is normal for them," Yoon said, not sounding sure. "But we should be careful. They show their teeth most when talking about weapons and how they protect themselves." That night, Kang sent a message to the leaders of his people. Humans smile when they think about fighting. We must be very careful. The next few days were uncomfortable for Kang. He watched as humans moved around the ship, almost all of them showing their teeth at each other. Some showed more teeth than others. Some humans had what they called bigger smiles. Kang wrote this down in his notes. He thought the ones with bigger smiles might be more dangerous. Kang noticed that Captain Hana showed her teeth most of all. When she talked with her workers, she would show her teeth, and they would do the same back. It looked to Kang like they were challenging each other, but then they would just go back to work. It made no sense. "Their behavior does not follow any pattern we understand," Yoon said during their private meeting. "It's like they are always ready to fight, but the fight never happens." "Yes," said Kang. "And have you noticed they do it more when we enter a room? Captain Hana especially shows her teeth at us. I think they may be warning us." The human food was another problem. The first dinner with the captain and her top workers was a test of Kang's courage. Every time a human looked at him, they showed their teeth. Kang and his team ate very little, too nervous to enjoy the special food made for them. "You're not eating much," Captain Hana said to Kang, her teeth fully visible. "Is the food not good for your people?" "It is acceptable," Kang said. His translator probably made his voice sound calm, but his inner stomach was tight with worry. "We want to learn more about what foods you like," she said, showing even more teeth. "We hope you will stay on the ship for many months as we work together." Kang's spines raised slightly at this news. Months trapped on a ship with these always threatening humans. He looked at Yoon, who seemed equally worried. "That would be helpful for relations between our peoples," Kang said carefully. That night, Kang sent another message to his leaders. "Humans want us to stay on their ship for months. They continue to show aggressive teeth displays. Request guidance." The answer came back quickly. "Learn their ways. Find their weaknesses. We must know if they plan to attack our worlds." The next day, a human named Jin took Kang to see the ship's engines. Jin was smaller than Captain Hana, but his teeth showing was just as frequent. As they walked through the long hallways, Jin kept looking at Kang and showing his teeth. "Our engine room is the pride of our ship," Jin said. "It can push us to speeds that were impossible just 10 years ago." Kang noted how the human seemed to show his teeth more when talking about the ship's power and speed. This matched what they had seen before. Humans showed aggression when discussing their strengths. The engine room was huge, with blue light coming from the main power source. Many humans worked there, checking screens and fixing parts. When Jin and Kang entered, most of the humans looked up and showed their teeth. "These are our visitors from the Stellar Federation," Jin told the workers. "They're interested in our technology." More teeth showing, Kang's second stomach twisted with worry. One worker came closer. "Would you like to see how the cooling system works?" she asked, her teeth fully visible. Kang took a step back. "That won't be necessary today. We are just getting a general view of your ship." The humans seemed disappointed. Kang wondered if they had planned to trap him in some way near their dangerous equipment. Later, in the safety of their private room, Yoon shared his own observations. "They show their teeth most when they talk about their weapons, their engines, and their plans for the future," Yoon said. "I think they are planning something big, and they are warning us not to get in their way." Kang nodded. "I have noticed the same. We must learn more about these smiles, as they call them. There must be a way to know when they plan to attack." That night, Kang watched human videos in his room, studying how they interacted with each other. In almost every scene, humans showed their teeth to each other. They did it when they met, when they talked, and even when they said goodbye. It was like they were always threatening each other. Their whole society must be based on constant threats and power moves, Kang wrote in his report. "They smile most when talking about things they are proud of or things they want. I believe they are warning us that they will take what they want by force if needed." As Kang prepared to sleep, he wondered what would happen in the coming days. Would the humans keep showing their teeth? Would they finally act on their threats? One thing was certain: he would need to be careful around Captain Hana. Her smile was the biggest and most frequent. Whatever the humans were planning, she was clearly the most dangerous of them all. 2 months had passed since Kang first came aboard the human ship. Now he lived there all the time as part of a program to learn about each other's people. His real job was to study human faces, especially the way they showed their teeth, which they called smiling. Kang had a small room near the ship's main control room. This let him watch the humans work without them noticing too much. He spent hours each day looking at their faces and writing down what he saw. "The humans have many kinds of teeth showing," he wrote in his notes one night. "Some are small, with just a little teeth showing. Some are big, with all teeth showing. Some last a long time. Some are quick. But all of them seem like warnings." Kang was most worried about Captain Hana. Her teeth showing changed depending on what she talked about. When she talked about normal ship business, she showed her teeth a little. But when she talked about the nebula, she showed all her teeth in what looked to Kang like a very clear threat. The nebula was a big cloud of gas and stars that both humans and Kang's people wanted to control. It had special rocks and gases that could make ships go faster and weapons work better. Both sides said they just wanted to study it, but Kang knew better. His people wanted those resources, and from the way Captain Hana showed her teeth when talking about the nebula, he was sure the humans wanted them too. "She is planning to take the nebula for humans only," Kang told Yoon during their daily meeting. "You should see how she shows her teeth when talking about it." "Have you heard any of their plans?" Yoon asked. "Not directly," Kang said. "But I watch Lieutenant Du, their war leader. He talks with Captain Hana in quiet voices many times each day. After they talk, her teeth showing gets bigger and more threatening." One day, Kang was walking past when he heard Captain Hana and Lieutenant Du talking about the nebula. He stopped and pretended to look at a screen on the wall. "We'll need to move quickly once we arrive," Lieutenant Du said. "The readings suggest the storm is growing stronger." "I understand the risks," Captain Hana replied. "But the potential benefits are too great to ignore. Prepare the special teams." When they finished talking, Captain Hana showed her teeth more than Kang had ever seen before. It made his spines stand up under his clothes. The next day, Kang asked Captain Hana about their plans for the nebula. He tried to sound casual. "We're developing plans for unexpected problems," she told him, her teeth fully visible. "It's important to be ready for anything." This answer made Kang even more worried. Ready for anything clearly meant ready for war. Over the next few weeks, Kang watched and wrote down everything he saw. He made a list of different kinds of human teeth showing. The quick flash when passing in hallways, probably a small threat to show who is stronger. The long steady show during meetings, a sustained warning not to challenge them. The one-sided lift, when thinking, planning something dangerous. The full-teeth display, when talking about the nebula. Clear war preparation signal. By his third message to his leaders, Kang had found 17 different ways humans showed their teeth. Each one seemed more dangerous than the one before. These humans have teeth showing for every situation, he wrote. They are constantly threatening each other and us. I believe they are getting ready to attack. The answer from his leaders came quickly. The human ship has changed course. They are going to the nebula earlier than they said they would. We are sending ships to protect our interests there. This news made Kang nervous. His people were sending warships to the nebula. If the humans were planning to attack, there could be a big fight. That evening, Kang noticed more humans running around the ship than usual. They moved quickly and talked in serious voices. He went to the food room to listen to what they were saying. Double shifts for everyone in engineering, one human said. The captain wants all systems at full power when we reach the nebula, said another. Kang's heart beat faster. These were signs of preparation for battle. Later, he saw Captain Hana walking with Lieutenant Du. Her teeth showing looked different now. It was smaller, with her mouth muscles tight. To Kang, this looked like the most dangerous kind of threat, the kind his people made right before attacking. As they passed, Kang heard Lieutenant Du say, "We'll run emergency drills tomorrow. I want everyone in defensive positions within 3 minutes of the alarm." Defensive positions, emergency drills. Kang hurried back to his room and sent an urgent message to his leaders. Humans preparing for battle. They are running war practice and putting weapons in place. Captain shows pre-attack teeth showing. They will reach the nebula in 3 days. That night, Kang couldn't sleep. He thought about what would happen when they reached the nebula. His people's ships would be there, ready to protect their claim. The humans seemed ready to fight for it. Would there be war? The next morning, loud sounds woke Kang. Red lights flashed in the hallways. Humans ran in all directions, some putting on special suits, others going to control rooms. What's happening? Kang asked the human running past. Emergency drill, the human said, showing his teeth quickly. Just practice. But Kang knew better. This wasn't just practice. This was preparation for real fighting. The humans were getting ready for the coming battle at the nebula. Kang went to find Captain Hana. He needed to learn more about their plans. He found her in the main control room, looking at pictures of the nebula on a big screen. "Is everything okay, Captain?" Kang asked. Captain Hana turned to him, her teeth showing at full display. "Everything is fine, Kang. We're just making sure we're prepared for our arrival at the nebula." "Prepared for what exactly?" Kang asked. "For anything that might happen," she said, her teeth still showing. "The nebula can be dangerous." Kang nodded and left, his mind made up. The humans were definitely planning to fight. Their teeth showing, their secret talks, their practice alarms, it all pointed to one thing. They wanted the nebula for themselves and were ready to fight Kang's people to get it. In his room, Kang sent one more message to his leaders. War is coming. Humans will reach nebula in 3 days. They will attack our ships. We must be ready. Loud alarms woke Kang from his quiet thinking time. The noise hurt his sensitive hearing organs. Red lights flashed all over the ship. He jumped up and ran to the main control room to see what was happening. The control room was full of humans moving quickly. They didn't run into each other or shout. Each person knew what to do. Captain Hana stood in the middle, giving orders in a clear, strong voice. "What's happening?" Kang asked, his voice higher than normal from worry. Captain Hana turned to him. Her face showed her teeth in that way Kang still found scary. Even during what seemed like an emergency, she was making threat displays. "There's a quantum storm," she said. "It's moving toward Research Outpost 7. We need to save the people there." Kang felt his heart beat faster. Research Outpost 7 was where both humans and his people worked together to study the nebula. 32 of his people and 27 humans lived there. Quantum storms were very dangerous space events that could tear apart ships and stations. "How bad is it?" Kang asked. Lieutenant Du answered from his workstation. "The storm is growing bigger and moving faster than we expected. The outpost will be destroyed in 5 hours if we don't get everyone out." Kang watched as Captain Hana organized teams to save the people at the outpost. She put humans into groups, told them what to take, and explained how they would get people out. The whole time, her teeth were showing more than Kang had ever seen before. In Kang's mind, this confirmed his worst fears. The humans were using this storm as a chance to attack. They would go to the outpost, pretend to save people, but really they would make sure only humans survived. Then they could take control of the nebula for themselves. "We need to move fast," Captain Hana said to everyone. "This is what we trained for in our emergency drills. Get to your stations and prepare rescue ships." Kang realized now what those emergency drills were really for. The humans had been planning this all along. While the humans were busy, Kang slipped away to his room. He sent an urgent message to the closest ship from his people. Humans moving toward outpost at high speed. Weapons getting ready. Captain showing extreme aggression signs. Need help right away. He knew his people's battleship was not far away. They had sent it to watch the humans, based on Kang's earlier warnings. Now it would need to stop the humans from attacking the outpost. Kang went back to the control room. The ship was moving very fast now. He could feel the engines pushing harder than normal. "Engine power at 120%. A human called out. "Warning signs in cooling system 3. "Keep it together," Captain Hana said, still showing her teeth. "We need maximum speed to reach the outpost in time." Kang stood near the back of the room, watching. The humans seemed very focused on getting to the outpost quickly. If this was an attack plan, it was a good one. They were acting like they wanted to save everyone, but Kang knew better. Then Captain Hana turned to him with a serious look. "Kang, your people have ships closer to the outpost than we do. Why aren't they answering the emergency calls? We sent messages asking for help, but no one is responding." This question surprised Kang. He wasn't sure what to say. Were the humans really sending calls for help? Or was this part of their trick? Before he could answer, Lieutenant Du spoke in a worried voice. "Captain, I'm seeing a Federation battleship coming toward us. Their weapons are ready to fire." Now everyone in the control room looked at the big screen. It showed a large ship from Kang's people moving quickly toward them. Something changed in Captain Hana's face. The teeth showing stopped completely. Her face muscles relaxed in a way Kang had never seen before. She looked confused. "They think we're attacking the outpost," she said quietly. "Kang, what have you told them?" All the humans turned to look at Kang. He felt his spines rise under his clothes. I told them what I saw," Kang said. "You were showing your teeth, what we call a threat display. You were running emergency drills and talking about defensive positions. You were preparing for battle." Captain Hana's face changed again. Her eyes got bigger. "Showing my teeth. You mean smiling?" she asked. "Yes, that thing you do with your face. Showing teeth is how my people show aggression and threat. You do it all the time, especially when talking about the nebula." For a few seconds, no one spoke. Then Captain Hana covered her face with her hands. "Oh no," she said. "Kang, humans smile for many reasons. Usually it means we're happy or trying to be friendly. It's not a threat at all." "But you smile most when talking about the nebula and your plans," Kang said, still not sure if he should believe her. "Because I'm excited about the scientific discoveries we can make there," she explained. "And right now I'm smiling because I'm determined to save those people. All of those people, human and Federation." Kang felt like the floor was moving under him. Could this be true? Had he been wrong all this time? Lieutenant Du spoke again. "Captain, the Federation ship is sending us a warning. They say they will fire if we don't turn around." "Open communication with them," Captain Hana ordered. The screen changed to show Commander Jai, a military leader from Kang's people. "Human vessel, stop your approach to the outpost immediately," Commander Jai said. "We know you plan to attack our researchers." "Commander, this is Captain Hannah of the Resilience. We're not attacking anyone. There's a quantum storm heading for the outpost. We're trying to save everyone there." "We don't believe you," Commander Guy replied. "Our cultural expert Kang has sent many warnings about your aggressive intentions." Captain Hannah looked at Kang. "Please explain to them. Tell them about the misunderstanding." Kang stepped forward, his mind racing. What if he was wrong? What if humans really did smile as a friendly gesture, not a threat? What if they really were trying to save everyone? But what if this was a trick to get him to help them? Then he looked at the screen showing the outpost. The first edges of the quantum storm were starting to reach it. Light from the storm made strange patterns around the station. Soon it would tear the outpost apart. "Commander Jai," Kang said finally, "I may have made a mistake. I thought humans smiling was like our threat displays. But it seems they smile for different reasons. There really is a quantum storm. We need to save our people." Commander Guy looked surprised. "Are you sure, Kang? Your reports were very clear about human aggression." "I'm not completely sure," Kang admitted. "But I do know the storm is real, and it will destroy the outpost soon. We must act now or everyone there will die." The control room was silent as everyone waited for Commander Jay's answer. The whole ship shook hard. Kang grabbed a wall to stay standing. A bright light flashed outside the windows as a weapon blast from his people's ship passed close by. "They fired a warning shot," Lieutenant Du said. His voice was calm, but his hands moved fast over his controls. Captain Hannah stood tall in the middle of the room. Her face changed again, and her teeth showed. But now, for the first time, Kang saw it differently. The muscles around her eyes were tight. Her back was straight. This wasn't a threat display. This was determination. "Open a channel to talk to them," Captain Hannah ordered. The big screen showed the face of Commander Jai again. "Federation ship, this is Captain Hannah of the Resilience," she said clearly. "We are trying to save people at Research Outpost 7. A quantum storm will destroy it in less than 2 hours. Please help us instead of stopping us." The screen went dark. No answer came. "They're moving to block our path," Lieutenant Du reported. Kang felt a cold feeling inside. He watched as his people's ship moved to a position that would stop the Resilience from reaching the outpost. "They won't listen," Kang said, suddenly understanding everything. "I have made a terrible mistake. All this time, I've been wrong about what your facial expressions mean. The smile, it isn't what I thought." "What did you think it meant?" Lieutenant Du asked, turning from his station. "In my culture, showing teeth is how we threaten others. It means we are ready to attack. I thought you were all constantly threatening each other and us." Captain Hannah's eyes got big. "That's not what smiling means at all. Humans smile when we're happy, when we're trying to be friendly, or when we're determined to do something hard. Right now, I'm smiling because I'm focused on saving everyone at that outpost." The ship shook again as another warning shot came even closer. "I need to fix this," Kang said. He ran to the communication station. "Let me talk to them directly." The human at the station moved aside. Kang pressed the buttons to open a special channel that only his people used. "Commander Jai, this is cultural liaison Kang," he said in his own language. "We have a serious misunderstanding. Human smiling is not a threat display. It is their way of showing friendliness or determination. They are truly trying to save our people and theirs from the quantum storm." Commander Jay's face appeared on the screen. "Kang, your reports were very detailed. You said the humans were planning to take control of the nebula. You said they were preparing for war." "I was wrong," Kang said. "I misunderstood their facial expressions and thought they were threatening us. But they were just being friendly or showing excitement about scientific discovery." A new face appeared on the screen. It was Commander Park, an older military leader known for his distrust of other species. "The storm is not the main problem," Commander Park said. "Our spies tell us humans want to use the nebula to make new weapons. We cannot let their ship go there." Captain Hana stepped forward. "Then send your own rescue ships. We will stay back. But someone needs to save those researchers before the storm hits them." The screen went dark again. Everyone in the control room waited. Kang could feel both his hearts beating fast. Would his people believe him? Would they send help in time? Long minutes passed. Then Commander J's face appeared again. "We are sending rescue ships now," he said. "Stay where you are, human vessel." Everyone in the control room seemed to relax a little. Lieutenant Du went back to watching his screens. Captain Hana nodded at Kang, a small smile on her face. Now that he understood what it meant, it didn't seem threatening at all. But then Lieutenant Du spoke in a worried voice. "Captain, I'm checking the storm movements. It's moving much faster now. The Federation rescue ships won't get there in time." He put an image on the main screen. It showed the storm moving toward the outpost faster than before. The rescue ships from Kang's people were too far away. "How long until the storm hits the outpost?" Captain Hana asked. 52 minutes, Lieutenant Du answered. "Federation ships will arrive in 78 minutes. Captain Hana looked at the screen for a few seconds. Then she turned to the human controlling the ship's engines. "Can we reach the outpost in 50 minutes if we push engines to maximum?" The engineer looked worried. "Maybe, Captain, but it would be very dangerous. The cooling systems are already giving warnings. We could damage the engines permanently." "What about the people on the outpost?" Kang asked. "Can they protect themselves?" Lieutenant Du shook his head. "The storm is too strong. Their shields won't hold." Captain Hana straightened her back and showed her teeth again. Now Kang understood. This was her determined face. "We're going to rescue them," she said. "Tell all rescue teams to be ready. We'll reach the outpost in 45 minutes. "But Commander Jai told us to stay here," Kang said. "People will die if we stay here," Captain Hana answered. "Our engines might fail," the engineer warned. "We could be trapped in the storm too." Captain Hana nodded. "I understand the risk, but we're the only ones who can reach them in time." Kang was surprised. "You would risk your ship and all your people, even after my people threatened you because of my mistake?" "Yes," Captain Hana said simply. "Because that's what humans do." She turned to her crew. "Set course for Research Outpost 7, maximum speed. Start emergency engine cooling procedures. All rescue teams to their ships." The humans moved quickly, following her orders. Kang watched, amazed at their determination. The ship turned and began moving fast toward the outpost. Kang felt the floor vibrate as the engines pushed harder than they should. "Your people will fire on us," Kang said to Captain Hana. "Maybe," she agreed. "But I hope you can convince them we're only trying to help." Kang nodded and went back to the communication station. He had to make his people understand. Lives depended on it. As he prepared to send a message, Kang looked at Captain Hana. She was smiling that determined smile again. But now, instead of seeing a threat, he saw courage. The kind of courage that would risk everything to save others. For the first time since coming aboard the human ship, Kang tried to make his own face muscles move in a smile. It felt strange. But somehow, it also felt right. The ship made loud sounds as it flew into the edge of the quantum storm. Kang held tight to a rail as the floor moved under his feet. The Resilience was fighting against forces that could tear it apart. Kang's people's ships had turned around, unable to fly through the storm, but Captain Hana would not give up. The main screens showed the storm outside. It looked like colored light twisted in impossible ways. Space itself was being pulled and pushed by the quantum forces. Even the strongest ships were not made to fly through such things. "Shields are failing," Lieutenant Du said in a calm voice, even as the ship jumped and shook. "There is a hole in the ship on Deck 7. Close it and keep going," Captain Hana ordered. Her teeth were showing. But Kang now knew what it really meant. It wasn't a threat. It was how humans looked when they faced big dangers and refused to give up. The ship pushed deeper into the storm. Warning sounds came from many stations. A panel near Kang burst with small sparks. The lights went out for a few seconds, then came back dimmer than before. "How much farther to the outpost?" Captain Hannah asked. 3 minutes at this speed," Lieutenant Du answered. "But the outpost's shields are almost gone. The storm is tearing it apart." On the main screen, they could see the research outpost. It was a large station built by both humans and Kang's people to study the nebula. Now parts of it were being pulled away by the storm. Lights flickered inside as power systems failed. "Prepare rescue ships," Captain Hannah said. "I'll lead the first team." "Captain, it's too dangerous," Lieutenant Du said. "You should stay on the bridge." "Those are our people out there, both human and Federation," she replied. "I won't ask anyone to take risks I won't take myself." Kang watched as Captain Hannah and her team put on special suits that would protect them in space and from the storm's energy. They carried equipment to cut through walls and medical tools to help injured people. "I'm coming too," Kang said suddenly. Everyone looked at him with surprise. "Are you sure?" Captain Hannah asked. "It's extremely dangerous out there." "My people are on that station," Kang said. "And I need to see for myself what humans really do." Captain Hannah nodded and gave him a suit. Soon, they were in a small rescue ship flying from the Resilience to the outpost. The little ship shook even more than the big one had. Through the windows, Kang could see parts of the outpost breaking off and disappearing into strange glowing tears in space. When they docked at the outpost, they found chaos inside. Lights were flashing on and off. Air was escaping through small cracks. People, both human and from Kang's species, were trying to seal the holes or help those who were hurt. "This way," called a human scientist Kang recognized. "We have injured people in the main lab." Captain Hannah led them through twisting hallways. Part of the ceiling had fallen down, blocking their path. The captain helped move the broken pieces so they could get through. In the main lab, they found 10 people hurt. 6 were from Kang's species. 4 were human. Captain Hannah and her team began helping them right away. They put the worst injured onto stretchers to carry back to the rescue ship. "We can take 6 people in this trip," Captain Hannah said. "We'll come back for the rest." Suddenly, a loud cracking sound filled the air. A whole wall of the lab began to pull away as the station broke apart. "We need to leave now," Lieutenant Du shouted over the radio from the Resilience. "That section is about to break off." Captain Hannah looked at the remaining people. "We can fit more if we squeeze in. Nobody gets left behind." She helped the last injured person, a scientist from Kang's people with a broken leg, onto her own back. Kang watched in amazement as this human captain carried someone bigger and heavier than herself. "Let's move," she ordered, still showing her teeth in that expression of determination. They made it back to the rescue ship just as the lab broke away from the rest of the station. The small ship was very crowded with all the extra people, but they managed to fly back to the Resilience. As soon as they returned, Captain Hannah sent more rescue teams to get the remaining people from other parts of the station. Kang helped in the medical area, watching as humans treated his people with the same care they gave their own kind. 3 hours later, all survivors had been rescued. The Resilience pulled away from what was left of the outpost just before it completely disappeared into the quantum storm. As they moved to safer space, a message came from Commander Park's ship. "Our sensors show you've rescued the survivors," Commander Park said. His face looked less stern than before. "We were wrong about your intentions. Cultural misunderstandings happen," Captain Hannah replied, her teeth showing in what Kang now knew was a friendly way. "What matters is that we learn from them." The next few days were busy. The Resilience's crew fixed their ship while the medical team took care of the injured. Kang spent time with Captain Hannah, working to write a guide that would help both species understand each other better. "We need to explain human facial expressions," Kang said. "And you need to understand what our body movements mean." "Agreed," Captain Hannah said. Small misunderstandings can lead to big problems if we don't talk about them. A week later, the leaders of both groups met for a special ceremony. They signed new agreements about working together in the nebula. Kang watched as Captain Hana smiled at Commander Park, and to his surprise, the commander tried to smile back, though his face moved in a strange way. Later, Commander Park spoke to Kang. "It feels very strange," he said, showing teeth without meaning to threaten. "I've been practicing too," Kang admitted, trying to make his own face muscles move in a smile. Humans smile not just when happy, but when they are determined to solve hard problems. If we had understood this earlier. "We almost had a war because of a facial expression," Captain Hana said, joining their conversation. "But instead, we found something more valuable than anything in the nebula. True understanding between our peoples." Soon after, it was time for Kang to return to his own ship. They would be working with the humans on a new mission to study the nebula, this time with clear rules about how to talk to each other. As Kang prepared to leave, he thought about what they had learned. The biggest danger between different species wasn't that they were different. It was thinking you understood when you really didn't. Before boarding his shuttle, Kang looked at Captain Hana one last time. She was smiling, and now he fully understood what it meant. It wasn't a threat. It was hope for the future.